So far on All Costumes Ranked, we've covered 2 of the 3 lady ninjas in the trio, those being Melina and Katana. If you haven't checked those out yet, please do, it would mean a ton. Let's wrap up the trio with the 3rd lady ninja, Jade. Though the secret fighter hiding in Goro's lair has a limited appearance in comparison to her peers, her designs change quite drastically over the years. So today we're gonna stop, rank, and break down all 14 of her costumes from the worst to the best.
Fight!
Good morning, afternoon, and evening everyone, Nick here and welcome back to the channel. We're continuing All Costumes Ranked by looking at Jade, Steve's waifu of Mortal Kombat. With her limited appearance, Jade has quite a drastic change in her designs. In this video, we're only going to be covering 6 different games, so we're going to see quite a costume change between each generation, which this also means get ready for half the list to be Revenants, so sorry about that. Just a reminder as always, these are just my opinions and my opinions only. I'll explain my placements for each one and I'll try to say something positive, even about the ones I rank low. With that out of the way, let's grab our staff, our glaives, and spam down 2 as we rank all 14 of Jade's costumes. Picking the worst Jade costume was quite a challenge, as I don't think any are really bad. At lowest, I'd give it like a 5 out of 10. Of the ones that I'd rank low, they just tend to be unmemorable or just miss the mark for me. So, with that, number 14 goes to her alternate costume from MK9. This Slave Leia cosplay from Return of the Jedi just seemed interesting to me, but don't misconstrue interesting meaning good. I don't think that. I just think that this one really doesn't hit the target for me. It just really seems weird in terms of design and execution, like I really don't know what it's trying to go for. This really looks like more of a costume you'd see in Khan's Coliseum, not really fighting material. I find this one to be pretty unmemorable, so much so that I completely forgot this was in the game. Every single design I can think of from every single game is one that just pops into my head, and if I can't remember this one, I think that really speaks a lot to me. But I will give it a positive. I do like her hair with this one, along with the gold accents they put in there. Now just a reminder, I don't think this costume's bad, I just find it pretty forgettable. For that reason, that's why it's at the bottom spot of this list. Speaking of forgettable, one that could have been better is Khan's counselor from MK11. My biggest issue with this one is that the primary color is brown with not enough accent of green to make it pop. She either looks like a brand new character entirely, or someone in the background of the Coliseum stage. There aren't too many elements that make it feel like Jade either. If they manage to fix the color, along with adding some prominent purple accent or gold somewhere, this could easily be a top 5 costume. Not bad, just could be loads better. On the topic of could be better, we've got a brief appearance of Jade in Mortal Kombat Shaolin Monks at number 12. For some reason, they decided to swap the primary and secondary color, making it more black than green. Because of this, green really doesn't pop too much outside of the loincloth, and during this boss fight, you really can't take a look at this and appreciate the design. If they had just replaced the black with green and changed up her hair, honestly I wish it was just the ponytail design from Deception, it would have been much higher on this list, and I thought it would have been loads better. Overall, for a brief appearance and for a game I give good ratings to their designs, I'm a bit disappointed by placing this one so low. Flying in on our witch brooms at number 11 with the Arcana variants. This special edition Halloween costume makes Jade look like she's cosplaying sexy Gruntilda from Banjo-Kazooie. Even though it's supposed to be a special occasion costume, I do appreciate the design choices and how much fun they had with this one. For starters, they decided to go with a black leathery look as the primary color for her costume and made her skin green instead. It's just a nice touch overall. Nothing really else to say about this one. It doesn't try to be the best Jade costume, it just goes for a good laugh and a good costume for spooky season. By which, it succeeded. Just entering the top 10 with her revamped design in MK9. And sorry for that unintentional rhyme too. Now I know a lot of people are a big fan of this one and they state that this is their absolute favorite Jade costume. I'm not gonna bash on this one and say it's bad, but I don't think it's amazing, I think it's just okay. I know many people and journalists have complained about these designs, saying that they're a little too expressive with the outfits, but I can honestly say that some of them at least fit the character, such as Melina, but with Jade as a personal assassin, this really doesn't give me that vibe at all. However, if there is one thing I really do like about this is that it retains some elements from her UMK3 design, specifically around the chest. I even like how it also takes some elements from her base design from Deception. It's just cool how they kind of marry and blend them together. I don't think this is a bad design at all. I don't want you to think that because it's at number 10. I think it's overall fine. And damn, it's fine. Up next is our second costume from MK11, the Ghost of Herself variants. MK11 has a tendency of taking costumes and either replacing some elements or removing them to make them separate costumes. This costume takes elements from her Unnecessary Evil set, but it removes the scarf, changing the loincloth and aspects to it. It's just a lesser version of a good design. I would go in more detail, but we're going to be looking at Unnecessary Evil later in this ranking, so a little bit of a spoiler there. It's just fine, it just feels like a lesser version of some of the other costumes from this game. It's fine, but just like its name, it's just a ghost of herself. Number 8, and we're going to be looking at where it all started, visiting her base design from MK2. Though Kitana and Mileena have the exact same costume, but different colors, green really does a good job to make itself stand out and pop. You could complain saying that it stands out a bit too much, similar to the very saturated green reptile from MK Classic. It's iconic and has been featured in many of the NRS games too. It's a good looking costume, but her design would be refined following this title. Not really a whole lot to say here, but it's just simple and effective. I'll leave it at that. Yet another variation of the Revenant Jade look from MK11, this being the Broken Jade variants. Similar to what Ghost of Herself did, but they retained the scarf from the Unnecessary Evil variant, and they changed her belt with a different design. It's a better look than Ghost, but I think it needs some shoulder piece or something to stand out a little bit more. It just feels a little incomplete at the moment. Honestly, more I think about it, I'm just disappointed that a lot of the Revenant designs don't change up a whole lot. Kind of a missed opportunity right there. Like imagine one of the hooded variations, or if they gave her a hood, that would make her pop out a bit too. But overall, I still think this is a good Revenant costume at the end of the day. Nearly missing out on the top 5 is the Unnecessary Evil variants from MK11. I know many people aren't too fond of the Revenants or their designs, but I honestly think this is one of my favorite Revenant designs. It just fits Jade super well. Yeah, color me purple and call me surprised. Hi, I'm surprised. I think the shade of green fits this design super well, like it seems more mysterious and evil. Along with that, I do love how they switch from her human to Revenant self by removing the gold and replacing it with silver for the Revenant. I just think the silver accents and spikes look really good all around the costume. Probably my favorite addition to this costume has to be the dark scarf she has on. I honestly wish more of the Jade costumes would have incorporated this feature into their designs just to make them stand out a little bit more. All of the Revenant Jade costumes are just green with jealousy with this one's placement. Okay, from this point onward, these are what I would consider to be the best Jade costumes. Even though she hasn't appeared in much or hasn't had much of a consistent design, I believe these ones succeeded at what they're attempting to accomplish. Also, if you're enjoying the video, consider subscribing. It really means a ton. Also, if you made it this far, put a green square emoji. At number 5, with a few months behind spring, but let's get into our spring formal with the spring formal variants. Honestly, this goes hard. I love the hooded look on Jade so much, and I'm surprised it took until MK11 to deliver this for us. Even the leather armor is a nice touch, along with the gold accents all around the design. It just makes it pop a bit more. Though I do wish the brown and green were swapped, I believe the blend of these two colors and the gold make it look very amazing, and it fits Jade well. Very underappreciated if you ask me. So good job team on trying something new with Jade and accomplishing what you set out to do. At number 4, let's jump into the PS2 territory with Mortal Kombat Deception. This is kinda similar to her MK9 look, but I prefer this design over that one. For one, I love what they did with her hair. I love how it's styled, along with some of the accents and accessories, including the green headband as it replaces her mask. The braces on her biceps with the gold and green look good, and I love how much green, black, and gold just pop in this costume. Everything that they included doesn't feel over the top or extra, it just seems like a great addition overall. It's pretty, elegant, and amazing. I really have no complaints with this one overall, I just think it looks really good. Taking the bronze medal is her second appearance and her playable debut, the UMK3 design. This is easily one of her more iconic costumes throughout the entire series. Just so simple and effective. Sure, it's the exact same as Kitana and Mileena's from UMK3, but green just really contrasts from many of the stages from this game, and it's not too saturated or neon. It's just the right shade. I also love how this was included in many of the future appearances in the NRS games, so if you're a sucker for the classic look, they've got you covered. Similar to the last costume I said, I have no complaints with this one at all. So if Jade does appear as a cameo in the game, or if she does make a DLC appearance to be a playable character, I'd love to see some rework of this UMK3 look. It would be awesome. Our runner-up goes to more of her proper attire from MK11, that being her proper attire variants. Man, all I can say is NRS really cooked with this costume. Even though the primary color on this one is more brown than green, they all still blend perfectly well together in this one. Like, I'm a huge fan of how gold is used in the armor for this costume. I like how it makes up the parts of the shoulder and the bracers. And unlike the spring formal variants, I do like how this one tones down the armor a bit, only being on the shoulders. It really emphasizes the assassin parts of the character. Like, we always hear that Jade is an assassin, and this is probably the best way they've portrayed it. Along with that, I'm still a sucker for the hood. It's definitely one of the best looks that Jade has had in quite a long time. And whoever made the decision to give Jade a hood, I'd like to give you a high five for that one. Of all of the ways that the characters have been revamped into the NRS or the modern era, this is definitely one of my favorite readaptations of any character, hands down. I know that's definitely a bold statement to say, but I mean it when I say it. It's just that good. I guess you can say this is a proper way to update the character. Dashing into the #1 spot goes to the revamped version of her UMK3 look, her alternate design from Deception. Remember what I said a few placements ago regarding the UMK3 design, stating it was a nice treat they included it in MK9 and MK11? Well, imagine that, but it's revamped and made as a costume in Deception, hence our #1 spot. On the surface, it's definitely a Frankenstein of many of Jade's costumes put into one, which could make it sound very interesting and maybe not the best approach, but honestly, it just works. The boots that she wears is from her base design from this game, the vest that she's wearing is taken from her UMK3, the mask is very traditional, looking like it's from MK2 or UMK3, and they even went a little unique with it by making her hairstyle very different from the other two lady ninjas. Her long hair flows with some really nice braids in there, and she even has some Chun-Li inspired buns on the top, something that I wish that she had in many future designs. Also, I'm not afraid to admit it, this costume's hot. I mean, this costume is so iconic enough they used it for the Girls Gone Wired audition for Jade. And just like that cringe-inducing video, this costume's got the brains, the brawn, and the polygons to take the #1 spot of all of Jade's costumes. So there you have all 14 of Jade's costumes ranked from the worst to the best. Which one of these was your favorite, and which one was your least favorite? Be sure to let me know down below, and let's have a fun discussion down in the comment section. And just a reminder for you all, my list is not the definitive list, it's just my opinions, and I'd love to hear where you're coming from. As I had mentioned in the last ranking video, I'm gonna try and add a few more fun and short discussion videos covering Mortal Kombat and fighting games, such as the potential crossover with Mortal Kombat vs. Street Fighter now being more likely, which you can check out right here. I'll try to insert those in between big rankings, along with other big discussion video projects. And speaking of rankings, I want to branch out and include more characters outside of Mortal Kombat or fighting games, which, speaking of, the next time we're on All Costumes Ranked, we're going to be tackling another fighting game franchise, something that some people have been asking for a while, and something I've been teasing for quite some time. Next time we'll be covering the Manji clan leader, Yoshimitsu. So if you enjoyed the video, don't forget to drop a like, subscribe, and share for more content like this. Your support truly means a ton, and I cannot thank you enough. Again, thank you for tuning in, my name is Nick, and have a wonderful rest of your day.
Fight!